Okay, this is the engine bay of a 1970 Dodge Super Bee. Everything in this car appears to be correct as it was in 1970 when it was released by Dodge. Still has the, on the core sport, still has the correct VIN number, very legible. It has the fender tag still intact and all legible. WM23N car, which designates it to be a real Super Bee with the 383 in it. The engine itself has the correct valve pan covers on it, air cleaner for the cold air system on it. It's a Ram Charger cold air system. Very expensive to go and find and retrofit to a vehicle today. The exhaust manifolds are the original cast iron exhaust manifolds that were released with this car in 1970. It has the original style Presto Light vacuum advanced distributor in it. Donnie put new belts on it. He does on every one of them. Looks like it has a new alternator on it, correct style hoses, a correct high flow, high volume radiator with it, with the fan shroud, and a flex fan. Correct style washer bottle on it, and the hose is still all hooked up and intact with it. Electronic ignition from what I know. No, that's the distributor, the alternator. The brakes are power discs. Does have power steering. The engine compartment is just as fresh and clean as you'd ever hope to find one. The heater hoses are still hooked up and intact the way they were from the factory. Someone's installed a new set of plug wires on it, high silicone, but they're still routed the correct way that they should be from Mopar. Real nice clean engine compartment. Everything appears to be original. The VIN tag, all the radiator core support, everything agrees number-wise with the VIN in the dashboards, which will point out to you. 3-speed wiper. Just a real straight car with a cold air induction system on it, Ram Charger system. Neat setup. Makes lots of power. They advertised them at 335 horsepower, but they were kind of an overachiever. These things pulled a lot more than the 335 would indicate that they would. Nice car. Hi, you're at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, and we're going to do a quick overview of a 1970 Dodge Super Bee for you today. Obviously, it's orange. You can't miss that. There's no way. It does have a cold air induction system for the engine on the hood. This is a Ram Air type system on it. The paint on the car is very, very nice. It's better than a driver quality finish. The bumpers appear to be original on the car. If you look, you'll see a little tiny bit of patina, a little bit of age on the chrome. Certainly nothing that would dictate that to you would replace them. They're fine just the way they are. They do have originality. The grille itself is blacked out the way it's supposed to be. Argent around the openings. The front valance is free of any dents or dings or imperfections. It's a nice straight looking front end on the car. The Super Bee doing his job there just the way he's supposed to. Going down the side of it here, have a set of 15-inch rally wheels on it. Again, disc brakes behind them. The fitment of the panels is really decent. It's really nice. You can see the gap to the cowl area, to the hood, to the front fender and door. This is all really nicely fit. The original 6-sided rivets are intact, holding the VIN tag in place. Original style wiper arms and blades. Tinted glass on it. Looks like the whole way around actually tinted glass, but definitely a tinted windshield. Top is obviously vinyl, and it appears to be the original vinyl that was installed at Chrysler. I don't see any indication that the car had a new top put on it. Drip rails are real nice on it. There's no dents or imperfections in them. The way the windows fit to the body of the car are just really nice. Mirror has no patina whatsoever on it, none whatsoever. This is usually deteriorated on these cars, you know. The chrome goes on them for whatever reason. Those are just as nice and fresh as they were when they were new. Door handles the same way. Again, look at the gap on this door the whole way around. It's just as nice as you'd ever hope to find. Also, the tag from Chrysler showing the serial number is still intact on the door. And it agrees with everything else on this car. Nice interior in the car too. I'll show you real quickly. The wood on the dash is very great condition. I don't see any marks or splits on the steering wheel from out here. Has the correct style Super B steering wheel in it, of course the correct gauge cluster. The seating area is really nice. All the vinyl in the seats is nice. The padding is up and nice and fresh. Seat belts front and rear in this guy. It's got them both. Remote control mirror on this side. Door handle on the inside is just as fresh and correct also, not redone. It's a nice car, very, very nice straight car. Quarter panel nice and straight, hat rack in the back, hat shelf. Appears to be original. A little tiny bit of fade to it, not very much at all. The molding that goes around the back window is nice and straight and nicely fitted. It's not hanging off on either end. Of course, we got our Super B around the back here, our little bumblebee stripe. Get in the trunk here. Come on. Gotta play this game. Okay, trunk area. Everything appears to be straight and nice as can be. The has a mat in it, but you can see the trunk floor itself. And this is the reason why you should take these mats and put something under them. No matter what you do, they're going to sweat, and that's why there's water underneath it. And it's just something that happens. Good idea to put a stick or something underneath it to allow some air movement so that doesn't happen. Real nice straight trunk area. No indications of anything being replaced, although you can't really tell. We'll see once we get underneath it. Nice straight trunk area in the car. Very nice. New rubbers all around, all new seals. Our Dodge with the Super B on the back. A little tiny bit of patina on the back bumper also, the same as the front. You really have to look to see it, but it is there. It is a little bit noticeable, but originality. Bumper fitment is very nice. Going down this side, same as the other side. Everything just as laser straight and nice as you'd hope to find. Glass fitting the same way on this as it was the other side. And again, the vinyl top, real nice and tight. And there's absolutely no indication of bubbling or anything underneath it. It's really great condition. The gaps on the door on this side are just the same as they were on the other side. Again, you can see the interior and the lights also working on the console. Everything on this car is just as fresh and clean as you'd hope to find in it. Haven't driven it yet, but I'm kind of anxious to. It looks like a really nice straight car. Okay, again, you can see the gaps in the front part of the door to the fender, to the cowl area, to the hood. Correct style antenna on it. It's a nice looking, really nice looking Super B. Very, very nice looking Super B. 1970 Super B. It's a great car. It's a counterpart, Dodge's counterpart to the Plymouth Roadrunner. These cars are very, very limited numbers. Dodge didn't make quite as many as Mopar did for Plymouth. And just a nice straight car. The paint is above driver quality on it. Has a lot of appointments to it that add to the value of the vehicle, like the cold air induction. Still houses its original carburetor and cast iron intake manifold and cast iron exhaust manifolds. It's a great car. It's a good running vehicle. It's available here at Hanksters in Daytona Beach. Well, this is the undercarriage of our orange Super B, 1970. Very, very nicely done car. It has a lot of originality to it. The core sport, even on the bottom, has no marks or dents or deviations whatsoever to it. You can see the oil pan doesn't have any dents in it. Also, no leaks whatsoever on the engine, the transmission, or the bell housing area. Correct Mopar starter for it. The cooling lines, the original ones, still hooked up. Tie rod ends appear to be new on both sides. Again, discs in the front, new shocks in the front. Sway bar links are also new with new bushings on them. The drop downs in the front fenders, the skirting in the front fenders, where a lot of times people jack them up, like right here, there's a dinghy. Someone made an attempt to jack it up and had the jack there. That's why there's a little dinghy there. Certainly nothing to compromise its integrity. Subframes very, very clean on this car. They're not deteriorated at all. There's no indication of any scale or any deterioration at all. Absolutely none. Zero. Floor pans all appear to be original. I don't see any indication that they've been replaced anywhere. All your structural parts on the floor pans all the same way. They're not jacked up on or bent or messed up in any way. Standard cast iron exhaust manifolds go into, I'm going to call them 2 1/4 inch, say maybe 2 1/2, but I think they're 2 1/4 with the correct crossover type pipe that Mopar engineered on these cars. Parking brakes still hooked up and functional. Everything on this vehicle as it was. The original brake line still intact and original fuel line still intact also. It's not been replaced, nor does it need to be. Pipes transition into 2 Flowmaster mufflers, 2 high volume mufflers, has a really nice sound to it, which you'll hear at the end of the video here. Subframes in the back, your torque boxes in the front part of the springs. Really nice, there's no deviations, little dent right here from being jacked up through the years. None on this side. Drive shaft has new U-joint in the back and relatively new one in the front. Again, the subframes in the back transition up over the rear differential, which is a correct 489 casting for the year of this car. It has a set of air shocks in the back. Look like they're relatively new. Drum brakes in the back. The leaf springs have curvature to them just the way they should. Nice set of leaves in the back. Trunk doesn't have any indications of being replaced, not that I can see. Everything appears to be as nice and fresh as can be. The tabs are still evident on the drop downs and the quarter panels, which gives you an indication that that has originality. The same thing on this side, on the passenger side. Crossover bracing that transitions the back of the vehicle, tie in the 2 subframes in the back, just as fresh as clean as you'd ever hope to find. Appears to be the original gas tank. It's been painted over with chassis black, so I can't really give you an absolute yes or no, but in any case, there's no dents or marks or anything on it. It's a nice, solid looking tank. A lot of originality under here. You can see that the car is not ever been subjected to any type of deterioration. There's no indication of any rust ever being present on any of the sections of the frame. Normally this stuff will show you if there's any indication of anything, even up in the frame. Everything is nice and thick and solid. And it's a nice straight car. Shows a lot of originality on the top part, and certainly the same thing on the undercarriage here. It's a nice car, and it's available at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida, and we're going to go for a ride, see how it runs. Okay, this is our orange Super Bee. Something that I didn't notice inside, there is a little bit of shrinkage. You can see on the steering wheel. Crack here, a few of them. A crack here, a little one here, a little one here, a little one here. Very, very few of them, but there are minute cracks in this thing. I couldn't feel them, but you can see them once you get it outside. Horn's working just the way it should. Remote mirror adjust works just the way it should. The tack is working. Clock is not, and we don't care. We don't do clocks and radios. Speaking of radios, let's see if it works. And it doesn't make any noise, so I'm going to say that that's not working. Wiper, they're working just the way they should. Jeff didn't leave us a lot of fuel here, but we got less than an eighth of the tank. Hopefully we'll make it back. Temperature just starting to rise, so that gauge is functioning. Oil pressure's up. The amp gauge is working just the way it should. Let's try four-way flashers just for a second. All of the flashers are working also, as you can see. Okay, then we have turn signal left, working as it should. Turn signal right, working as it should. Fan, let's try fan. Fan is not working. We have to fix that, obviously. But a nice straight car, very, very nice straight car inside, nice and clean. We're going to try to get out here and go for a ride if everybody gets out of our way. Okay, there's no shake, shimmy, rattle, and absolutely nothing. Goes down the road straight as an arrow. It can't go straight any straighter than it does. No hands on the wheel yet, and it's still going straight as an arrow. Let's try brakes, no hands. Stops just as straight as you'd ever hope to. No hands on the wheel yet. Speedometer working, there's no jumpiness to it whatsoever, and it's functioning. Appears to be relatively correct. Again, all our gauges are functioning as they should. Real tight steering on this car. Usually there's some play in the power steering, especially Mopars, and this one has none. Very, very tight steering. Someone must have put a high-resolution steering box on this car because normally they're not this tight. Very nice handling car. Stops, goes straight. We'll give it a little shot once we turn around here. You can hear what it runs like, but nice tight car. Very, very nice tight, nice handling car. No shakes or rattles. There's no rattles or wind noise or anything other than my window being down. It's a nice tight car. There's no police around. That guy turning now. It's about 85, so we'll shut that off. The car runs just as straight and fast and tight as you'd ever hope to. Real nice performance 383. Very, very strong running car. There's absolutely no smoke, no indication of any engine noise whatsoever.